there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Chuckle Sluts, the one place on the internet where you come for the sluts and stay for the chuckles. My name is Samuel Locke.
I'm Shannon Brunetti.
I'm Zach Clapperich.
And it feels like it's been a while. There's been events in the world that have been kind of keeping us apart, whether it's fires or Halloween or elections. But, you know, like herpes, we are back.
I had a COVID scare. I had to live in a box out back for like 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Dude, don't you live out back like every week? Like all week?
I mean, I like to be back here, but it's different when you like have to be back here. Like I have to like ask the people of the house like get me water, and like it's just a very strange thing. There's just nothing back here. It's like a little prison cell.
Just rubbing the lotion on its skin.
Some of that. Some of that.
With that being said, we're gonna jump right into our.
Oh my goodness.
We're going to jump into our first thing of the day, which is obviously the World Doe. And this is where we find really interesting things around the web that maybe you haven't heard of, so that way you have heard of it. I think I'm going to take the first one on this one because I think this is weird enough and interesting enough that people need to know about this thing. But Oreo is very concerned about the world at large. And so what Oreo did was they decided we're going to go ahead and build a doomsday bunker in the Nordic region like we do our seeds, but for all their cookies. So all their cookies, I shit you not, all their fucking recipes, every single one of them are in this doomsday
locked
vault.
up in Fort Keebler, man.
And I think this is awesome in the best and worst kind of way, because it's like when Oreo's like, hey, we need to like preserve our legacy.
So it's just the recipes that are locked up? Because I was picturing like a giant like Scrooge McDuck style cavern of Oreo cookies that I could like dive board into, because that's something I'd want to have.
I hope it is.
It's definitely like cookies. Like there's cookies in there, and I imagine there would be like more than one, because it's like. Because you can't just like eat one, because then that cookie's just gone forever or whatever.
And also, I mean, it's just a bunch of cookies. Like the World Health Organization one where they have all the seeds and DNA and stuff. It's like in a huge fortress compound kind of thing, because there's a lot to do. This is just like cookies. Like I could do the same thing with like a safe and just bury it in my backyard. I got all the cookies.
But here's the thing.
Like,
this.
Why do they need a fort?
No, this is it. That fort, it is like just like the one in the Doomsday Vault. It is fireproof. It is waterproof. It is.
But is it massive?
Proof.
It's a size thing for me. Like, how big is this?
I did. Go ahead.
Oh shit. So I'm now thinking of Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark with the single cookie instead of the idol, but like futuristic. So like either Scrooge McDuck or Raiders of the Lost Ark. This is where my mind is.
Either way, you're surfing down gold coins.
I think it's a lot like maybe like the Lennon thing, you know, where they entomb their cookies so that way they're fresh all the time. It's like an airless thing, so they stay fresh forever. Maybe that makes sense.
It does. It still seems ridiculous.
Imagine this though. Like we all die out. We're dead for thousands of years. Aliens decide to turn us into a rest stop. All they find is fucking seeds, and next to it is fucking cookies, and they're so confused.
Do these seeds make these cookies?
This is the pinnacle of everything. We transcended once we made the cookie. And so we have this like last enshrined monument to all our cookies. And then we became higher beings.
Not just any cookies.
Fermi paradox. We beast out. We're cookie ghosts now.
Just Oreos.
Yeah.
All of their cookies are obsolete.
The thing is, if you put the cookies next to the seeds, they're gonna look at both and go, "Do we plant both of these? Does this make a cookie tree? Is this what this does?"
Yes, that's exactly what it does.
Like they're not even eating them, just planting them in the ground, and then just nothing happens.
I hope that happens.
Or they
There's also go ahead.
Or they're like scanners. They're like, this is made out of highly toxic substances. Why would anyone consume this?
Well, there's actually something.
True.
There's a really cool side note here. There was a cool thing about symbols, and essentially how our symbols today won't make any sense like 1,000 years from now. So how do you plan to tell people, hey, this is radioactive, when maybe a skull and bones or the triangle sign doesn't even mean anything to these people anymore. You know, like, I don't know, something I think about a lot more than I probably should. But back to what we were talking about: aliens, cookies, seeds.
Aliens, cookies, seeds.
Now, I was just gonna say, it's interesting thinking about the like always kind of the what will people in the future think of us as, like, we are like entombed or untombed, and but they're gonna find weird shit like that. They're gonna find like cookies and seeds, and also like think about all the like first grade like time capsules that have been buried like all over the country. But like those are the only time capsules buried. So like if they're digging up around like schools, they're just gonna find these little children's notes and be like, these were a very unintelligent species. Because it's just a bunch of first grade ramblings.
I think that time capsules are kind of dumb, and I think of it. I mean, they're not like dumb, but they're kind of dumb in a sense. Well, because 9 times out of 10, when you see a time capsule, it's like, we're gonna open this like 30, 40, 50 years from now. It's like, that's not the point of a time capsule. That thing needs to be in there for like a good 500 years before you raise that bitch from the dead. Like, then it's really, now it's like archaeology at that point.
Because like I've thought about like, I know of a couple time capsules where I'm like, I know I got $10 stashed somewhere. At $10, still $10. It's only been like 20 years. It's in there.
Yeah, no, like
just in case I'm running low.
I went to
find it.
I went to an elementary school in San Bernardino, and this elementary school does have a time capsule. I don't remember when it was supposed to be for, but it was created in like the 70s. And I'm just like, I mean, if they were to unearth it now, I wouldn't be impressed, not even a little bit. Like, because we have the internet now.
I don't even like the 70s.
The internet, I feel like, almost made time capsules obsolete.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, cool, I can sell this on eBay now.
The internet's made most of everything obsolete. Really, life has lost a tremendous amount of value, like, philosophically, because of the internet.
You're not wrong. I mean, it's kind of like, you know, with the cookie thing, like, you know, what are they going to do? Are they going to keep adding cookies to the vault is the real question.
Yeah.
Scrooge McDuck 100%. That shit.
Yeah. You want to rob the cookie vault? I will storm Fort Keebler tonight. I don't give a shit, because that sounds like a hell of a story. Do they have guards?
God.
Oh
Mission
my god.
Impossible. Mission Impossible.
It's just like one cookie monster out there protecting it.
Oh, dude, is this like just like strip SAS dudes, like, you know, just like hanging out the door?
I'm very interested. I'm gonna have to do some personal research on this.
Oh my god!
It does exist. It's on the internet everywhere in the world that you can find it. So if you want to go check it out, because I'm sure there's like information that I didn't even like see, just because I saw the word Oreo Cookie Vault Nordic, and that was it. That was all I saw. There's
probably my keywords.
Those are the keywords, and that's what I came off of. So there's probably a lot more information on this. If you want to see, go check it out.
They should totally partner up with a game developer and make a like Tomb Raider style game, but like for stealing their cookies.
You know, what's it called? Burger King did that shit.
Really?
In the early 2000s.
There was the game where we played as the king, right?
And it was
the
fucking
Hamburglar?
Weird.
Yeah.
No, you play as the king with the weird fucking face.
It's really creepy. It was a
weird
so
creepy.
No, and the weird part is the game was actually dope as fuck. It had a great soundtrack. You played it like it played well. Like,
okay, fuck it. I'm gonna find Burger King game now. Like what the
like
fuck?
no, like Vice did a whole ass
do.
article on it. It was weird, but really fucking cool. And if it was played, like if it came out now, everyone would be playing it just for the ironic nature of it.
Ahead of its time.
Anyway, Cookie Vaults.
That was a long
That's my world. That's my world, though.
Just went in. All right, Shannon, what you got? You can go.
I got mine's a lot less. I mean, it's eventful because it's like about the Hurricane Delta.
Silly, so this is great.
So there's a man in Mexico whose house also doubles as a shelter, an animal shelter. He's now taken in over 300 dogs and a bunch of bunnies and sheep and stuff. And like, he's basically like Dr. Doolittle. He's just like, keep giving me the dogs, like saving them from the hurricane and stuff. So
that's a really beautiful story.
So basically you would say it's like 303 Dalmatians?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
That man's house has a scent, though. I love pets, but like at some point, I just couldn't get past it. You're just living in a farm, like deep in the farm, in the pits.
Could you imagine like just how many fleas that guy has to deal with though? Like if you have 300 dogs, I guarantee there's a flea problem immediately.
You've committed. Yeah,
immediately.
It's a part of your life. I wouldn't have the constitution for that. Like that's a brave, bold, and good man.
Think of the puppy pile though. Think of 300 dogs just like puppy piling all over you.
That sounds just so hot and greasy and smelly.
Like
I have a different relationship.
Freshly bathed puppy pile.
But puppy breath everywhere, every goddamn where.
These are ragged hurricane dogs. They've seen shit. These aren't little soft puppies. These have been through the war.
Like but dogs that go through the war need love too.
They do need love. I'm just saying there's a difference. If you have 300 fuzzy puppies on you, it's like like cotton balls. If you have 300 like raggedy old hounds on you, it's like I need a bath.
Just take them by the jowls and go boop 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 boop.
Just slobbery. Oh,
you must go through literally a ton of food a day. That's not even like not metaphorical, a literal ton of food a day.
They probably need like 3 to 4 pounds a day. You got 300. I mean, that's 3 pounds of food for 300 dogs. You're reaching almost a ton there.
Yeah, no,
that's half a ton. Math is
like
good.
That's like his full-time job, just feeding and watering. Like, but when he's done, it's just the day's over. I guess I'm like Stardew Valley problem right here.
That's after he's done feeding the dogs. It's like, it's bedtime now. Like, shit, that's all you do. That's your whole life.
I mean, to be fair though, like his Tinder profile is probably lit as fuck.
Oh yeah,
must love dogs.
Feeding dogs 18 hours a day.
Like, good I guarantee you, he's gonna get so many right swipes. Just, I heard you have dogs.
It'll do.
It's 300 profile pictures of just his dogs.
That's a lot. That's a serious con.
That's the only reason he did it for the gram. He did it for the Tinder. That's the only reason why he's doing this. Mm-hmm.
But if you are listening to this, thanks. We're just kidding.
Yeah, we love it. We love and support your efforts, and it's not you. We shit on everybody.
Yeah. That's fair. Especially ourselves.
Definitely ourselves. Zach, what do you got in this world?
Mine is silly. I had this super crazy underground laboratory thing, which is probably tinfoil stuff, but it's tuned up. So instead,
it's on brand.
I found out that there's like this weird controversy. There's this like French fashion brand that kind of like has just stolen the croc kind of like form, and they made a new shoe that's it's just a black croc with heels and studded spikes on it. And,
hold on, I'm gonna find
this. It's like $50.
What is this name?
A pair. But they're marketing it as 2020 as a shoe.
So what do you know what the shoe's called?
Hold on, let me. If you just type in croc with spikes 2020 as a shoe.
Spikes 2020 as.
I just love how I hear tick 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 tick. Is it Poshmark?
I think it's Poshmark. But people are getting mad because they're like, you're just taking advantages. No,
it's $120 fucking dollars. Eat my dick. Holy crap.
It's something like that. Or ASOS mocked for selling studded crocs that customers describe as 2020 in a shoe.
It's freaking ASOS. They're fucking.
Yeah,
I'm gonna pull this
shit.
I'm gonna pull this shit up. Hold up. This is what we're looking at. Oh my god.
Those are a little different than these ones, but yeah, it's similar to that. Point being, they're going for this crazy amount of money, and they're like, whatever, fuck it, it's 2020, nothing matters anymore.
I guess.
They're so ugly.
But yeah, point being, that was the whole thing, is that I think it's fucking hilarious that there's one, that there's controversy, and two, that thing exists, and that it's going for like fucking $50 a pop, and then I guess online on eBay like $120. What is, like, this is the world we live in.
You know what though? I think I know the reason why. It's like someone said, what's the worst article of clothing we could possibly find and then make it fashion? And that's, someone said Crocs the worst, and then they said let's put the equivalent of pineapple on pizza with this, and then sell it for money.
Oh my goodness!
This is not art. Pass.
Although
pass. Yeah, passing on that. No, thank you.
I mean, think of it the way I see it. I wouldn't even market it as fashion. I would market it as a defense tool. Like, oh look, are you out and about late at night, or do you feel unsafe? Put these fucking spikes on your Crocs. This will protect you.
Oh my freaking god!
So this is a slightly strange pivot. I'm having like a weird fever dream memory of my very poverty-stricken past. I forgot there was a point in my life, I was young, where me and my cousin, when I was like, this is way back, like trailer park Zach days when I was a kid, back in like South Carolina, and we took old tennis shoes, and when they got too small, we would cut the backs off and make them like flip-flops and duct tape them up with like old shitty black duct tape. And we tried to like sell these, and we were like, they're not slips, they're sloops or some shit.
Yeah. But no, the real question is, did you sell them?
Up tennis shoes. We had, I think like my mom was like, I'm gonna give you $1, but go away. But I counted it. My first sale, Sloops LLP. See. But yeah, that was a strange time in my life. But I just had like a flashback of me being like, "This is brilliant! Everyone will want these taped up, torn, cut tennis shoes."
Well, here's the thing: you're not wrong. I remember a couple of years ago, a fashion company came out with like pre-dirtied shoes, and basically they they dirtied it up. They taped it up like fake ass looking tape and everything else. And they sold these bitches for like $300. And so many people got angry because it's like, dude, why? Not only are you making fun of poor people, but you're also like profiting off like directly the miserable things they have to go through.
At least I was actually poor.
Yeah, no, you're fine. You did it right. They were just like,
I was entrepreneurial. I was like 9 trying to make something. I don't know. It didn't
like,
look good, and they weren't comfortable. But
it was like Zoolander. It's derelicts.
You can derelict my balls.
Oh my god, I love that movie.
Dude, it's such a great movie. The second one was okay. It was okay.
I didn't hate it.
Hansel is so hot right now.
Stay out of it, Billy Zane.
Stay out of it, Billy Zane.
Billy Zane.
Orange mocha frappuccino.
Anyway, welcome to the Quoting Zoolander podcast.
Hey, man.
We're
thinking about Billy Zane now.
We're gonna move on from this stuff. We're gonna move on to one of our regulars called Video Games in Real Life. And because again we were running out of genres, we decided to go into worlds this time around. Mm-hmm. And this world is one of my favorites, and that would be Fallout. I love the Fallout games so goddamn much, and it literally replaced Final Fantasy as my favorite, and I got my Final Fantasy tattoo. That's right bold. Here. Yeah, no, very bold. And so I've always wanted to live in this world, and I don't know why, because the world objectively is an absolute fucking shithole. But I mean, like, there's nothing actually redeeming about Fallout or anything about it. I mean, giant roaches, you're freely drinking radiation, you're doing all sorts of things.
Nuka-Cola.
So, like, remember when y'all were like, DDR land, boners? And I was like, that's my hell. This is my perfect world. This is everything I love. It is adventure. It is crafting. It is getting to, like, murder assholes just because they're assholes. Like, I can just go to a cave and, like, have a mutant animal. There's still dinosaurs. Fucking yeah, man. This is me as a person.
I think this is the first time where we actually did one of these, and you're just thriving in it.
I love it so much. It is. I would live in these worlds in a heartbeat.
Here's the thing. I love the idea of living in this world, not necessarily dying in this world, which inevitably you're going to do because of the radiation. But the reason I love this world is our world is very extremely complex and scary and hidden from a lot of the world. Like, Fallout just seems so simple. It's just, you go town to town doing quests with, like, guns that you literally are making on the spot.
Yeah.
You have a dog as a friend, you have all these companions and giant mech suits. Like, there's a frontier aspect about it is what it is. Like, you feel like you're on this new frontier. And I love that. I love the exploration aspects. I love that I could just shoot a mutant in the fucking dome, like, and just, I love that world. And I love the factions. Like the lore is just so cool. I mean, you have like the Iron Brotherhood or the Brotherhood. You have like if you're using Fallout. I'm going to use Fallout New Vegas because that's my favorite. You have like the Legion. You have like the new California Republic. Like all these cool fucking things. And they really do a good job in saying what they're about and why you should join it. And the best part is, like, you could do literally anything. Like, no one gives a fuck if you live, die, murder everyone. It all just adds to your tally at the end, basically. And there's no game that does it as well as Fallout. Like,
yeah.
I feel the biggest thing for me is, I can't be the bad guy in the game. It's really hard. And I found out a lot of gamers have the same problem where they're just like, we have these bad people options, but I don't want to be a bad guy. And it actually messes with gamers' heads as they're playing it.
Yeah.
I think that's cool. I mean, and the thing is, they had to use Fallout because there's no other game that would compare to the morality issues that you would find in other games.
Yeah. Just as a very tiny, weak ass woman, if Fallout was like IRL, like my life, I'd just cap myself because there's no way I'm surviving. just
Nah, man.
Coming up out of the waking up to the new future. Nope. I'd walk out and be like, oh.
I could just become whatever I wanted to be, and I could be fucking Annie Oakley in this world. And you're like, no, I'd fucking off myself.
It'd be too hard to live. Like, I'm just being realistic here. I am being
hard.
realistic here because like y'all are men, like bigger than I am because I'm tiny. Strong people. I have like zero muscle mass. Not just because of coronavirus. I'm just a weak person who didn't work out in general in a really long time anyway. So if I suddenly was like found myself placed in this world, I'm like, mutants, radiation, I mean, this is cool out here, but I'm gonna die within 5 minutes. So might as well take me out first before something eats me.
Here's the kicker, like, what I love about Fallout is, like, they do have strong female companions. Like, some really, like, I remember in New Vegas, there's this one chick with, like, fucking cowboy hat, and she's as tough as fucking nails. Like,
that ain't me.
And then in Fallout 4, there was there was two women that I remember. One was like this like newspaper journalist, like cool, like New York looking chick, and then there was this other one who just wanted to like have sex with everybody. It was kind of weird how they pretty much like choose your companion. Like, I'm sure
your options.
I'm pretty sure every guy was like,
options.
That's it. This is what you have.
That is pretty much like, let's see, a chick that wants to have sex with me or a chick that wants to write an article. I feel like that was like your whole thing, and it's like, I don't know, but
I mean, this I think we talked about this before in like the horror games. As you said, like the crafting stuff, like it very much so has this, like you said, like a frontier town kind of thing. It's a very exploratory kind of lifestyle. And like, that's what I love, is being able to be like, okay, cool. How do I need to get this house all structured up so I can survive. I need to make a new weapon. I need to learn how to do these. Like, that I live for that shit anyway. Like, I'm one of these strange humans that, like, I just will like find like weird survival books that teach me weird skills that I don't need. There's like zero chance I would have to like hand make a cast net at any point in my life, but I fucking can. But yeah, like that stuff blows my mind. Like, because I don't really need people in general. And so in this world, I can just sort of survive. Get me a little mutant dog. Maybe have some mutant friends. Like, you know, there's some crazy shit out there in the Fallout world. This is my home homeland.
And it's also one of the few games where it's like you don't even give a fuck about the main quest. Like, it does, like,
living in the world.
I gave like Fallout 4 specifically. I did like Fallout 3. That was a cool story. But Fallout 4, I sat there, like, I gave no fucks about my son and where he was.
I just want to learn about
care.
Yeah.
Like,
I loved learning about learning the lore of the old vaults. That was the coolest part.
Oh yeah, that's like and the thing is, that's where the best thing about Fallout, it's like it rewards exploration. Like,
yeah,
it's like I could go over there, but what the fuck is that weird ass looking building over there?
Yeah,
I'm gonna go check that out.
It's the Skyrim problem, where it's like, there's a dragon flying over there, but look at that cave.
Dude,
I should definitely go in that tiny cave. I might find some shiny rocks.
Skyrim is just as bad, if not worse.
I'm saying, Skyrim is like the main example of not being able to stay on the main quest.
The first time I played Skyrim, I downloaded all like the DLC too. So I ended up not doing the main quest, basically leveling everything to 100 because I went directly to Dawnstar because I didn't know that was DLC. And I was like, I'm going to go to this place called Dawnstar because it sounds cool, I guess. Yeah. And then I went through like 5 different companions on the way because they couldn't carry my ass. They just kept dying. And I'm like, well, I guess there goes another one. Like, and I'm just like, don't become my squire, man. You're going to fucking die. Like, I'm just the black spot, man.
See,
like
the one thing I do hate about that type of engine where it's like unlimited side quests and locations is like when you do finally get to the actual like storyline, you're just one punch manning everybody, and that sucks.
Sometimes
that sucks.
Most games have rebalance to where the story stays with your level. Very few games nowadays don't like level match.
Fire and Mace of Molag Bal. It was my 1-2 hit, you know, and then hitting people while shooting fire out of my hands.
As someone who knows their Skyrim, you're the one.
No, I got this one weapon in game. I don't remember what it was called, but it was my favorite weapon of all time because what would end up happening is when I hit people with it, they straight up just got yeeted across the fucking map. Like they just no. I'm just fucking gone, and it's like Team Rocket's blasting off again every time I hit you, and I love it. I don't remember what the name of it was called, but basically the knockback on it was so severe, they just got through across the map. It was wonderful.
Yeetered, man. Just get out of there.
Thou hast been yoted.
But yeah, no, I think the thing is, I love when games do level with you. I think more games should do that. Like,
I mean, it's hard to find one now that still doesn't. Like, there's not a lot of games that don't level match.
I think
problematic thing.
Well, the Outer Worlds had it. I'm playing a game called Genshin Impact right now that does.
Oh my god!
It's so good.
It's a gotcha game. How much have you spent on it?
Nothing.
I spent a goddamn thing.
Spent nothing?
Nothing.
You fucking liars.
No, I really haven't.
You suck at the game.
Okay. You know what? We had another segment, but we're going to go into this. Hold on a second. Genshin Impact, all right? First off, Paimon is the most annoying creature in the United, like,
fucking
ever.
hate her.
Fucking, like, worse than Navi. How are you worse
than
Navi? Like, that's a hard thing to do.
I don't know why it was so mean to her.
And secondly, more importantly, what really got me on this game and still played is
as a gacha game.
It's a gacha game, but it's an open world game, and the lore is good, and the characters are interesting. Like half of them are waifu bait, and I'm just like, it plays so smooth. Like I rotate my characters out to get all my elemental attacks going, and it plays seamless in the sense that I don't need to be gotcha'd to continue. I mean, I'm sure I do eventually.
Yeah, I've heard amazing things. I have not played it yet because I'm bad about gacha games. That I'll be like, it's just $5, and then like fucking $300 later.
Here's the thing. I guarantee you, it does have gacha element, but the game.
Well, there'll be a plateau though. Like that's the thing is like there's always like a plateau to where like you can do good for a while, and then there's a point where just everyone is gonna fly above you, and you just can't level up anymore.
So that platform is adventure rank 45. That's when like everyone's trying to get to 45. I don't know why that's the thing, but I'm at 25 right now, and I've been playing the game for about a month, give or take. Like it takes a while to get up there, but once you do, like I haven't ran into the plateau yet, and it's so much fun. Like, play it.
Yeah, I just started playing it, and it was so I realized that I forgot how big of a fucking hoarder I am. I'm having Breath of the Wild flashbacks because I was doing the fucking tutorial, and I spent 3 hours doing the tutorial because I'm like, ooh,
you're just collecting everything,
fucking apples and shit, and I'm just lining my pockets with shit.
I heard it got a lot of flack for being kind of like a Breath of the Wild clone. Is that a thing?
It's Breath of the Wild without all the annoying shit in Breath of the Wild. Yeah. Like your weapons don't.
The fucking game of the year in every single person's magazine. You had a lot of problems with Breath of the Wild.
I did, because I hate that my weapons are breaking all the fucking time. I hate that I have to cook all the fucking time. I hate that, if you get to a certain like height, you're getting cold and you have to like make a hole. Like it just, there's too many things. There's too many things getting in the way of my story. In this game, it does not. They're great additions. There are great additions. Like you can cook, but it's
not a story-driven game. Like I forgot there was a story. Like 20 hours into Breath of the Wild, I was just trying to get towers. Like it doesn't matter. So that game turned into a full-on Fallout style, just exploratory game.
Yeah, and that's what Genshin Impact really is. It just happens to have a tiny bit of gacha, but you can totally play the game. Also, Shannon, send me like your friend request shit for that game, and
I don't think I'm high enough level. I legit just started playing on Tuesday, so
that's fun. I'll come in and help you like 1D people. Like I'm like level 50 on all my characters.
I'm like level 2. I mean, on my character is level 20, so my main character is level 20. But like my in-game, I literally just finished the tutorial. Like I legit played it for 3 hours and I didn't finish. But
you got a shit ton of mushrooms, though.
I have so many fucking mushrooms, man. I have so many.
I'm gonna let you know right now, they're pretty much worthless. Like half the things you pick up, you're gonna realize are unbelievably good. Here's what you need to pick up. You need to pick up meat. You need to pick up meat, wanching chilies. And some other shit. I can't remember the name of it.
I've been like killing all of the animals. So I've been like, as soon as I got like the archer girl, I just started shooting cranes and every bird that I could find. I'm like, chicken wing.
Yes, and chicken meat. No, that shit will save your fucking life. I wish I killed more birds along the way.
I killed a lot of squirrels too. They're just like stand there and they don't run away, and I'm like, hiya, and they turn into a steak. So
I wish squirrels turned into steak.
Right?
I mean, they do with enough effort.
Well, anyway, besides this, I apologize for getting into that.
No, this is great. I'm so glad I was gonna make that my get wrecked anyway. So, which I think. Is that our next segment anyway? It is our next segment anyway. I just did my game right, so we didn't even lose any time. I recommend Genshin Impact to everyone. By the way, this is like low-key now the Get Wrecked segment of the show.
That was a smooth transition.
So smooth.
You really crumbled through that one.
Who wants to go next?
How about you, Zach?
I can go next. So this is gonna be a weird one. This is specifically for any of my like horror and like gore fans. Have we talked about this? Have we talked about the anime Gantz before?
We have.
Yes.
We have?
Yes.
Oh fuck. Because I was tripping pretty hard a little while ago. And watched that movie and no, not the old cartoon, the weird 3D movie on Netflix.
There's a weird 3D movie on Netflix for
You don't know about this?
No.
Okay, never mind. I'm going in. As we talked about in this show, I read the manga and it's so fucking weird, but it's cool. It has an interesting story. There is an old TV show that stayed pretty truthful to the story. Netflix produced like a very like high budget, really good 3G animation, like hour and a half movie that it's like the first maybe like 5 volumes. Is it like the original storyline, or is it like a different something? No, it is. So it has like the same characters, but it takes it a very different route. Like the main guy in the manga, he like dies. It's like the starting factor of the whole movie, and like Kido or the first guy with long hair who dies in the manga, he's like the main character of this. And so they kind of flip-flop it, but holy shit. So now I was tripping. It was a little bit extra, but the animation in this fucking movie is insane. And it goes off the wall, like gets really weird. If you've read the manga or if you've seen the old show, you know what I'm talking about, how it gets weird. But this thing takes it to 11 because the animation is so good. There's a point where this little looks like a little noodle salesman walks up and he's an evil monster demon from, I don't know, hell and other planets.
Why is it always about food?
I don't know. But he turns into a giant, like, basically a pile of boobs. If it was a pile of boobs that turned into a woman, and she was a badass fucking capoeira fighter. And it was the most insane, fucked up thing I've ever seen. And like, if you just need to dig into like the core of who you don't want to be and shouldn't be inside of you, watch this movie, particularly if you're fucked up, and it will change the way you see things. It was so interesting. Yeah, you know, for all those like horror and gore people, it'll definitely take you somewhere. I don't know if you can come back, but you'll go.
Oh, wow, that's a wild thing to come after. Holy shit. Mine's actually like I guess I did a book review last time. I'm doing another like book recommendation, or actually a series recommendation. So we all know J.K. Rowling has now fallen from grace, so Harry Potter is a little bit like iffy. So another series which was important to me and I still reread upon occasion, which is like, I guess, YA fiction, but I still read it because of I'm a freaking Greek mythology nerd, is Percy Jackson and the Olympians. I really like it. Mostly I just used this series as a because I just got diagnosed with ADHD. Some of my friends are going through it too, and they're just like, you know, taking it pretty hard. And I was like, you know what? You know, I feel like ADHD in the past was like people were like highly empathetic and whatever. And they might as well have been the Oracle of Delphi. And then I'm just like, wait a fucking second. I know a literary character that used ADHD as like a positive thing. Which was Percy Jackson. They like all of the demigods had like some form of dyslexia or ADHD, but they use these disabilities as kind of superpowers. It's their way to like kind of move throughout the world and show that like having these, you know, learning disabilities were actually working in their favor in their universe. And I thought that was like also really empowering and whatnot. And I just started rereading this series. And, you know, while it's not amazing literature, it's not Tolstoy, you know, it's just a fun read in general, and also helped me get through not actually reading my textbook on Greek mythology. So if you want to learn stuff while also having fun.
Actually, I love those books. I read those when I was younger, and they are good. Like, they're definitely like teen books, but they're written well, and they're very engaging characters, and it's a lot of fun. And like there's a lot of like, sometimes I think people like shame kind of some of those like young like teen series, but there's some good shit, man. Like the Christopher Paolini books were amazing. The Golden Compass books were like, his Dark Materials is insane. Those books were they were banned from my old high school.
I read Hunger Games when I was deployed.
Hunger Games is great,
dude. Those books are so much darker than the movies. Like no one talks about that.
Oh, they do. Those books were fucked up when they were coming out. They were wild and they were like incredibly graphic and violent.
Well, I think here's the thing. I look at like the teen books as they're called, or young adult novels as they're called now, because that's like a new term, I guess.
YA fiction or whatever.
Yeah, fiction. Yeah.
Yes.
That's actually pretty spot on.
Yes, fiction. Like the thing is, fiction. I'm annoyed that there are some people who is like, oh, you're reading books for teenagers. I'm like, bitch, have you read these books, though? Like they're so like, it's like Lifetime, you know? Like you look at the Lifetime channel, you're like, oh, this is totally not for me. But then you sit down and actually watch something from Lifetime, you're like, wow, this is dark.
Yeah, no, it's thrown on. I mean, it's. Oh my goodness! Sorry, my computer's yelling at me. But yeah, they're given like weird shame for that stuff. But they're just books. I mean, the like Isaac Asimov's Foundation books probably would have been like YA fiction back in the day, but now they're like lauded as incredible sci-fi.
Okay,
and they are incredible sci-fi.
So we're gonna jump into a quick question of the day. Which book would you want to see turned into like a movie or a series?
Sandman Slim books. Period. Hands
the
down.
what?
The Sandman Slim books. Oh, which is another Wreck and Hill I Would Die On. They're so fucking good. It's this like supernatural kind of biker guy he's like an old punk rocker from the 80s who like lived in hell for like 11 years because he couldn't die for whatever reason.
That's kind of cool.
You find out.
So
and he comes back and he's basically like this, ends up being this like hell-bound assassin. But it takes place in LA. And it's so funny because he'll be like, yeah, I was walking down Wilcox and blah, 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 and like murdering bad guys and doing all kinds of badass shit. And he's just this kind of punk rock old dude stuck in LA trying to survive, but he's also kind of has like a buddy relationship with Samael, and it gets into like a lot of old school religious stuff.
So it's basically Taxi meets Ghost Rider.
Yes. That's actually pretty spot on, yeah. And all set in LA, like all the main things are just like LA stuff that we're out here seeing every day, and it's just super cool. Then it's a lot of fun. It's got great characters. It's super cool.
I think for me, it would be the Drizzt Do Urden series. I'm sorry.
Everything.
You know what? You don't call me basic, but you know what? No,
you want to put Drizzt on screen?
Yes, the fuck I do want to put Drizzt on screen. I've been wanting that since I was like 15 years old. I've been wanting that so bad because it's so good. But the thing is, I know for a fact because are you familiar with the Drizzt Do Urden books?
Yeah, I've read all theirs already.
Never heard of it.
So, okay, Drizzt Do Urden, he is a dark elf. He's like the king of dark elves, he's like
as in badassery, not actually.
So is he like badass or edgelord?
He's
badass, but like he's like a philosophical warrior, basically.
Yeah, he like left the Drow. And Drow. I mean, you're a D&D kid. Like,
yeah.
Drow are ran by women. They're all matriarchal society. Mm-hmm. Drow is a great warrior, but he left. He doesn't do with laws.
Doesn't subscribe.
And so he's a good guy, and he's a ranger. So he's a dual wielding, saber bound ranger. Fucking badass, and he is super cool. There's probably like 30 books about his character, and
I've read maybe half of them. But the biggest problem and why it would never ever go to screen is because his just one book is like that thick, and they come in these like even bigger books. Like there's like whole series that are like this big, and you can't stuff that into 2 hours. You just can't. It's not possible. It's like
my problem is it's the Dungeons and Dragons thing. Like I don't think they'll ever make an actual good Dungeons and Dragons movie because people will always see it as such a silly thing. Because Drizzt is heavily like D&D. Like he came from the D&D universe. You can he's in some of the like 5e stuff.
Yeah,
like, he's canon lore, and so because of that, like it's like I guess Peter Jackson got away with it with Lord of the Rings somehow, but for some reason people just don't really like heavy fantasy on screen. It always goes so stupidly
well
bad.
I mean when you hire who is it, Damon Wayans for the first one, like
Jeremy Irons in it.
No, to be fair, it was actually pretty good,
but I'm saying people don't care. Like people just for some reason they see like really hardcore high fantasy. And because this is traditional fantasy, they'd have to stick to the rules with like clerics and wizards and sorcerers, and there'd have to be gnolls and rats the
biggest problem is that if you're going to do a D&D thing, you have to go the way of the Princess Bride, where you have a narrator actually going through a D&D game, and it becomes very meta, in which case it becomes awesome. But they didn't do that. Like when I saw Dungeons and Dragons the first time, I thought that's what they were going to do. Because that makes sense. It's like, great, I'm going to see it. But no, it's just like this whole world that has nothing to do with Forgotten Realms or anything. But like there's no lore, no canon.
And wouldn't you want a Drizzt movie to be like a Christopher Nolan movie, like a dark, intense, gritty thing? It's Drizzt. And so, but then if you have a narrator, it instantly becomes kind of goofy, doesn't it? Am I crazy?
Here's how this would work if they decided to do it. It would have to be a story strictly for screen. Like it couldn't be... It could have lore elements, but it would have to be an original story just for screen, which I would love for it to be.
I think it'd be better as a TV show too. Like Game of Thrones. Can you imagine if they tried to make a movie instead of doing the show? Game of Thrones would have never made it, but they did a show and they were able to like ease you into a world rather than just say like, fuck your face, Dungeons and Dragons! Like,
sure.
It's just too much for people. Like, they can't handle it.
A Drizzt Do Urden series would be best, especially because I would love to see like Jarlaxle as a character.
Jarlaxle's
he's so fucking cool.
I killed Jarlaxle in my last campaign.
Oh, you're a dick, and I hate you.
Robbed me. He was a bad guy.
And then Artemis Entry also. Fucking just these two characters alone, I just want to see on screen. Yeah. I don't give a shit about Guinevere, and I don't give a shit about like the halfling or any of his actual characters. It's just just the bad guys. Like he has the best bad guys in any of the universes as far as
it is cool. I mean, you know, they get me. I'm a fucking D&D kid. Like I grew up on Salvatore. It's one of the reasons I play D&D.
I'm taking up a large chunk of time talking about this.
Yeah, Shannon, what's yours? Sorry, we just.
No worries. You both haven't heard of this book series, probably. Sorry, I'm yawning. But there's this another fiction that I feel like would be a good movie series. Besides, or actually probably TV series, like if they did. I have two. If they redid the Percy Jackson and forgot the other two. I don't like the movies. They were horrible. Logan Lerman was a good casting, but he was way too old, and they should have done it when he was in Hoot. Anyway, moving on to my actual one. There's this book series called The Fairy Path. It was about basically like Oberon Titania's daughter accidentally crossing into our world and getting reincarnated. And so on her 17th birthday, she gets basically portaled back to the land of the fairies and like having to remember everything while like the fairy kingdom's in fucking war and turmoil and like a bunch of shit. And it was a super dark series, even though like the book covers were like, oh, it's a girl with like fairy wings. And like me at 12 years old was like, I'll get this because of like, I like fairies, and I basically did subject searches every summer. One year it was mermaids, the other one was dragons, that summer was fairies. And I was like, Fairy Path, there's like 8 books in this series, like whatever, but holy fucking hell, like it actually... I started writing a book which will never see the light of day because I read this story and
yes, fan fiction, bring it.
But it would be a really, really good story because it's like a bunch of strong female characters, a bunch of like issues with, you know, like patriarchal like kingdomness, and then having her growing up in like the 21st century like United Kingdom, and then going to this like super medieval world, and then like being betrothed and shit and all this other stuff. And also like I don't think there's been a like at least a series that have shown fairies besides like that weird one on Amazon Prime.
Carnival Row?
Where people were like having sex with fairies, and then I was like,
is that any good? Does anyone know?
It was weird.
The first 2 episodes, and I just kind of was like, meh.
I liked it. I actually very much enjoyed it, but there were definitely some cringy parts.
Because like I sit there, I see it every time it pops up, and I'm like, I know I want to watch this show. I don't know why.
It's worth the watch.
I might try
There's
it again.
definitely fairy sex scenes. There's like a really cheesy like orgasmic wing fluttering scene, which is the silliest fucking thing. Oh my god!
So it's kind of like that.
Such weird roles.
It's like that True Blood episode where like the
God!
are having sex,
Blood.
and they turn the neck like 180 degrees. They're still having sex. Yeah. I saw
True
that.
Blood had some weird shit.
See that I feel like that was the series that they started like doing the Game of Thrones thing, where like at first, you know, they had designated sex scenes, and then they had like designated story scenes. But True Blood started with the whole like, let's talk during sex shit. So there's no way around it.
Yeah, like you can't just sort of fade out. You have to be like, no, I'm focused. Like I'm watching the movie.
And then they're just like hardcore fucking in front of you, and you're like, wow, this is just like I need to know because this is important to the story, but also like, am I watching porn? Like
I think
sometimes there was a lot of orgies in True Blood.
Yeah,
there's a whole lot.
True Blood had a lot of sex, but I think it was really Game of Thrones that kind of like blew the door wide open on just sex scenes in general.
Yeah.
Well, and also given like everyone watched Game of Thrones, like,
and that was another thing everyone watched.
Like True Blood, you kind of come to because it's a little rank. Like you know what you're getting into. With Game of Thrones, people are like, I really just want to know about the lore of dragons, and it's like, I guess I'll put up with all these tits. And like people got kind of mad.
Oh no! I guess I'll put up with the titties.
But a lot of people didn't want it. But like, if you're watching True Blood, you know what you're getting.
Okay, next random question. Who was the biggest disappointment? Which was the most disappointing death in Game of Thrones for you?
This is a very...
I know. It's been a while, but also a lot of people died.
Actually, no. I know mine. Mine was
Oberyn
Martell.
Yes.
I hate that he got beat by the fucking mountain.
Dude, I remember.
He was so cool and so smooth. In the books, he was smoother than he was on screen.
And I was so mad at this because, like, okay, so I was literally we were having a watch party at LMU, I think it was, during this day. And the screams that came out of all of us the moment it happened. It was just like a guttural, like, nah! Like everyone was just flipping. And it was even great because I remember when that happened, like the entire internet was like, "Fuck this shit."
It was the worst, man. He did so good too, and he was just talking shit. It's my problem with like in every movie, just stop talking shit, and you'd get so much more done.
The hubris, man. The fucking hubris.
That was the show that made me realize that you can never pick favorites of characters because they will destroy everything you love and hold dear.
Yeah, because if they don't die, you just end up hating them.
I really like Sean Bean. I like Ned Stark, and then
don't get used. He always dies in season 1.
Yeah, you can't ever like Sean Bean. You're not allowed.
I don't even think Sean Bean likes Sean Bean.
Yeah, well, he's had to do so many death scenes. He's not over it. Just disgruntled.
They just love to kill him.
People do. People really like to kill him.
I think, like I told myself, you know what? If Oberyn's gonna die, fine. But if you kill Tyrion, I'm gonna be so goddamn mad. Like, do not kill.
Everyone in the world felt.
Yeah, no. Like, if you kill him, I'm not watching this ever again.
I guess the most disappointing one for me was how Daenerys died. That was like for me because like the entire last season, I'm like, all right, I know they just want to like fast forward to maybe doing Star Wars, I guess, which is why they rushed this, and then they lost Star Wars anyway. But it was just like Daenerys was my favorite character. So
they did her.
They did her so bad.
I mean, but like, all that's non-canon bullshit.
Well, no, I have words about DB, and I'll make that the hill I die on. But we'll talk about that later. Continue.
Yeah, we've gone into a weird new sect where it's just lightning questions.
We're so off the rails at this point. I'm enjoying it. Fuck it, let's keep going.
I don't know. Yeah, it was just like that whole bit. Like even the season before, I was like, no, man. Like, why they got it? Because as soon as they put her with Jon Snow, they don't know how to write women in relationships. They're like, oh, she was powerful, and now she's in a relationship, so we're gonna make her into a naggy bitch, and then we're gonna make her crazy and incesty when she finds out, and then we're gonna just have her kill everyone because we don't know what the fuck we're doing with this woman character anymore, man. That's what I took from it.
I think everyone was collectively angry, and for two reasons. One, because obviously they followed her, they loved her, but also Trump. And I'm not going to get political about it, but basically everyone just needed a fucking win, you know? And I feel like everyone was just living vicariously through her.
Trying to piece together what the fuck you're trying to say.
Yeah.
You're saying people are mad because we didn't get off on the end of Game of Thrones because we were tired of Trump. That is giving him too much power.
No.
I hate Game of Thrones for legitimate reasons. I don't need him infecting my dislike as well as the rest of my life.
I'm looking at this in terms of like a more subtle thing where it's like people just like people needed a win. They really did, and they followed this show for so many years, and then all of a sudden, 3 episodes to the last, it's like, oh, we're just gonna make her a bad guy and kill him. Everyone was so mad because like we were all riding our own hopes on this shit for no reason. But it was a thing.
How Cersei and Jaime died, just getting like fucking
rocks.
crushed. But then they could have walked like 6 feet over and not gotten crushed.
It's another trope that destroys me in movies.
Like literally, all of this cavern is still open, and they got crushed by stuff, but they literally could have just ran away and still survived. I didn't get my bloodlust. I wanted Cersei to get murdered the fuck out of. I wanted to have her head ripped off her neck and shit, man.
Okay, the most fucked up death happened in the last season though, and that was the Martells, the 2 girls. That fucked me up for a while, where it's like, we're not going to kill you. You're going to sit here, be chained up, and rot to death, and watch each other rot to death. Or no, it was one got the kiss goodbye, so no, it was the daughter. The daughter got the kiss goodbye, so she's going to die, and her mom's going to live and watch her rot away. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh my God, that is the worst thing you could just do to anyone in the history
of time
ever. Mm-hmm. And it actually referred to a prequel of the books that a lot of people don't know, where they did that with the Mad King. A very similar thing happened, and I was like, fuck, dude. Like that stayed with me for a while. I was like, that just sucks.
There's a lot of those. I mean, that last season, while they didn't execute everything perfectly, they fucked some people's lives up.
Yeah,
very
hardcore.
well. They did that incredibly well.
We're gonna jump into the hills we die on, and I'm gonna go ahead and start this one off again because it actually has to deal with this, and that is the writers of Game of Thrones are absolute garbage. Complete. No, not for what they did to Game of Thrones, but how they addressed it is what pisses me off. Where it's like they literally said we had no idea what we were doing. This was our first gig. It was actually like just doing film school for 7 seasons. And I got so fucking mad at that because it's like there are people like me, like Zach, like you, who like work really fucking hard on the industry. We just can't even get a foot in the door. But then these assholes who like ruined the most iconic like show like in 20, 30 years, and they just fucked it up, and it pisses me off. And that's the hill I'm dying. I don't care if they write the greatest the greatest Star Wars anything. I don't care what they write from now on. I'm just so fucking mad that they just treated it like they didn't give it the respect it deserved, you know. And that's why that season like was so shit, is because they didn't treat it with the respect it deserved.
I agree. I think that that's a big part of it. I don't have that much vitriol, but I do understand. I also I would just want to know why there was, and I would love to know, like, be a fly in the room with Martin there talking to the executives as to like if they could have stretched out like more of a show, because they crammed just so much into those like 8 episodes.
And HBO told them.
Did they though? Because
yeah.
I see, that's one thing that I've always wondered is like, did Martin just say like, yes, you can do a final season and close it out? But what if they were like, well, can we just keep going? Like, what, you just do your thing. We'll do it the, like, what is it, Full Metal Alchemist style. Like, there's one that went with the books and one that just didn't. And they're both good. They're just different.
What ended up happening was they packed all this shit into 8 episodes. And HBO took a look at this and they said, do you need more time? Like, we will literally give you infinity time to do this. It's Game of fucking Thrones.
Yeah, they were more money than anything else in the world.
And they were just basically like, we got Star Wars to do here really soon, so we got to go. And they're just like, fine. And George R. R. Martin's like, yo, you keep backing up that money check, I don't care what the fuck you do. You know, like, George R. R. Martin does not care about this series anymore. He really
it makes me
so.
I've been waiting for so long. I could
everyone
eyes out to read this next book.
It's never happening. He's gonna die before that book comes out.
Maybe. And he's supposed to have, like you said, it's one of like 2 more. And so, I mean, he's got to do it again. We're gonna have to wait till 2050. The world will blow up before the 8th book comes out, or 7th or whatever.
I can't imagine what goes through George R. R. Martin's mind, where it's just like he's like one of the most prolific authors of all time. I don't even think he gives a shit. I really don't.
Maybe. I mean, he's a writer. They're usually not known for their mental states. I tell you.
Anyway, that's a very short hill that I'm dying on, but I'm dying proudly.
I'll join you on the hill. They fucked up my girl Daenerys.
They did. They did her so dirty.
I would have been fine had she been actually like Maleficent, not like Angelina Jolie Maleficent, but like cartoon Maleficent levels of evil, which is like, I would have been fine with that. Her just wanting to like, just being like, you know what? Fuck it. I just want to destroy everyone because I want to, and I'm going to own that shit. Like, actually turn her into a villain, or actually have like a consistent storyline to how she fell into madness versus, oh, my freaking nephew doesn't want to fuck me no more, so I'm gonna go ape shit. Like, no, what the fuck?
And fucking Bran is king. Eat my dick, okay?
He was kind of like Bran is king.
No.
I called that.
No, he would. No,
I mean, he's not the best, but like nobody else is gonna do it.
The problem is he's such a he's like NPC level. Give a fuck. I don't care if he died. I would shed 0 tears. But then all of a sudden he rolls his ass down south and says, why do you think I came all this way? Fuck you!
Yeah, they definitely, I mean, he would have had to be such a challenging thing to make anybody care about. Because, like, in the books, most of his writing all is, like, mental, like, internal dialogue and, like, understanding, like, going through, learning about magic and all this shit. And so it must be, God, like, the challenge it was to make Bran even slightly compelling. And they definitely botched it late.
And I think they did that on purpose. They're like, we're going to take the most unassuming person and just make that person king. And I think that was probably the mental thing that they had. Like, we'll just make Bran king. Like,
my biggest issue isn't actually with what was executed, what was not. I felt like I was very unsatisfied with with like some of the mysteries they brought in. Like I want to know more about the first people, more about the magic system, more about like this old city, Old Valeria. Take me to Old Valeria. I want to see the ruins. Like
there's
I wonder
so
well, who
much
the
lore.
fuck is Azor Ahai? Like they still never really like got to like what all that shit was. Why are people coming back from the dead? Does it really matter?
They never got into it.
That stuff is what makes me mad. Is because I'm a lore junkie. So I was like, I have the Fire and Blood book. I've read the Dunk and Egg prequel. Like I've read all the extra stuff, and I love it. And I was hoping you have so much to call upon. Like there's so much information out there they could have used.
Like they pulled a Rick and Morty on it. It's like, don't question it. We gotta go. You know, it's dumb.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm done. Someone go, please.
All right. So I like to ruin people's favorite characters from things. I think last time I talked about Glinda being a bad guy. I say fucking Bruce Wayne of Wayne Enterprises is actually the fucking villain of the Batman universe. Why? Because he's a fucking billionaire and he's not doing anything to actually help the city. He's like having all of his little dudes make fucking bat suits and shit. Yeah, he's smart and whatever and a really good detective, but like, bruh, you have all this money to like make, like the perfect circumference of your bat suit to like terraform your asshole. Like, why do you have all of this stuff and not like do anything to
terraformed to his asshole?
Dude, I bet he has come up with like the problem for swamp ass, and he's just not sharing it with anybody.
Yeah, he has not shared the secrets to solving swamp ass. But also, he hasn't, actually actively tried to do anything. Like, like his Bruce Wayne persona is like, I'm going to go to charity benefits, but I'm like, y'all are still a fucking billionaire. You can't be an ethical billionaire while your city is fucking burning to the ground, dude.
That is a really good point that I hadn't really thought, because I've got a bunch of reasons to hate Batman.
No, I have 1,000 reasons to hate Batman.
But I hadn't really thought about the fact that we lose the fact that he is also Bruce Wayne. The Bruce Wayne person isn't really doing a lot.
No, and also one of my favorite villains from Batman is fucking Poison Ivy. She's a freaking environmentalist woman.
Did you watch the Harley Quinn series?
Yes.
Yeah, everyone loves Poison Ivy now.
I loved her from the beginning during Batman the animated series and the comics too. So, but I'm just like, her her flaw is she like literally just values the environment more than fucking big business.
Well, and the thing is, like, even in the 90s Bruckheimer Batman, when she was like, oh yeah, this is what I do, I'm like, okay, what's the problem?
What's the problem?
Okay.
There's actually a lot, like even like Ra's al Ghul originally was an eco-terrorist. Like that's like what the League of Shadows was like really all about.
So literally Bruce Wayne's a fucking asshole. If the original Ra's al Ghul is like an eco-terrorist being like, you're destroying the world, and Batman's like, no, fuck you. Like, he's the bad guy, right?
I mean, he's definitely about. It's funny. I actually just got in this conversation recently. I've got a friend who's super big Batman guy. He named his two sons Grayson, Grayson and Gideon, which is hysterical. But no, one of the things that's really interesting, and it actually came up recently in like the Joker Wars that's coming out right now, is that a lot of the bad guys are like, "Yo, Batman, like the only reason Gotham's so fucked up is because you did this." Like, it used to be just like normal criminals. Now Gotham's like full of super criminals because you don't kill anybody. You're a half measure guy. And so, like, now we just all had to get better to fight you. If you didn't exist, Gotham wouldn't have all these supervillains. Yeah. Like, you have ruined Gotham. You're the worst thing that could have ever happened for Gotham.
And that was the whole thing about Joker, too. Like, the movie Joker, it's like, we can't, we can't pay for your social services anymore. And then he ended up slowly turning, and he said, hey, this wouldn't even fucking exist without, these problems. But also, like, he is a billionaire. So it's like, why haven't you like locked the fuck down on Arkham Asylum? Like, why is there a breakout like every fucking day?
Start an Arkham Asylum.
Why? Why is that a
rotating chamber, man?
You know what it is? He really is the guy from Mystery Men. The Captain America dude who's sponsored by he is that person. He really is.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, yeah.
Like, it's like, if you really wanted to stop all these people in crime in Gotham, like, literally take like half the money you're spending on your bat shit, put it into like a literal, like, absolute lock the fuck down prison. Like, you're never seeing the light of day
or
again.
Don't imprison them in Gotham. Send them away.
Yeah.
Send them to the pit.
Like,
stop putting people just in Gotham because they just get out and they're like, great, Mama's favorite sandwich shop. Like,
and it's like, like they're like legitimate like fucking killers. Like the dude with the knives, Scarecrow. Like, people who like strip like laying down motherfuckers. Like, you don't have to save these people. Like, they're not savable. Fucking kill these people.
Batman's actually right now getting his ass about to be handed to him by a new guy named like Ghostmaker or something, who's like is an old Irish guy who trained with him and is now coming back and is like, I'm just gonna fucking kill you and I'll be a better Batman because you fucking suck.
I'm down for it if he's actually gonna get shit done. Bruce Wayne sucks.
There's been a lot of. I mean, Azazel was the same thing. Azazel was super.
Like, I don't know why the hashtag of "fuck Batman" is not trending. It really should have been trending.
Hashtag like fuck Batman.
Hashtag fuck Batman. Ladies and gentlemen, make that a hashtag. You heard it here first.
That's fair. I dig that. I that's so funny though that I'd never really put together that. Yeah, he's a great Batman sometimes, but he is always a bad billionaire.
Mm-hmm.
He's Elon Musk. He's Elon Musk.
Yeah. Elon Musk is the Tony Stark we got off of Wish.com. That's what it is.
He's Wish.com Tony Stark.
Yep.
Oh, that's really funny. I'm sorry, Elon, but that's hilarious.
I'm not sorry. Fuck that guy. He's not really done anything much for society at large. I know we want to like sit there and say, oh, look at all the things he invented. He made electric cars hot.
Wow, he's so quirky with Grimes. They smoke weed and do interviews. He's still a fucking billionaire, not doing much.
You know, they kind of remind me of like a millennial Addams family. Like a little bit.
Kinda.
A little bit.
Kinda.
Because they're weird as fuck, you know, and they probably have some weird shit at home.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're the millennial Addams family, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to move us on. But no, final thoughts, and then we'll move on.
Elon Musk has nothing on Gomez. Fuck that.
He really doesn't.
But yeah, the hill I'm dying on, fuck Batman, hashtag fuck Batman on top of the hill. Fuck Batman. He's joining me. Yeah,
I'm there. I'm there, so there.
Getting picket signs. Fuck Batman.
Batman.
All right, your turn.
Oh, all right. I don't think I might have talked about this. I ramble sometimes. Have I told y'all how I feel about people getting punched in the face?
Yes. Dude, that was episode 6, and it was a very long diatribe. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Because I was saying everyone needs to be punched in the face once a year.
Yes.
Okay. Well, then never mind. Then I'm gonna do. Because I gotta remember they came up today again, and I was like, that's my hill I need to die on. No. So everyone loves Robert Kirkman for The Walking Dead. My hill I'm dying on is Walking Dead is absolute garbage compared to his true gem, and it is the comic book Invincible. Robert Kirkman and Ryan Audley wrote this fucking incredible coming of age story about this kid who's basically like the son of like a Superman type guy, gets superpowers, and this comic goes off the fucking walls. It is like almost satire of like the superhero genre.
Is it kind of like The Boys?
To a degree, like I mean in the way that it is a story, but it's definitely like takes a lot of tropes about superheroes. This one does as well, but it does it more of like in a fantastic kind of sense rather than a very like grimy, weird sense. Like they're always like going to different planets and finding new alien creatures and different things, but it is fucking fire. And they are making an animated show on Amazon about it, and it is going to blow people away. I'm so excited. I think it's one of the best. It's by Image Comics. It's the best thing that's come out of Image, except for maybe some of the original McFarlane Spawn stuff. But absolutely fucking incredible. It is super violent, super intense. It has real characters. I've like wept onto the pages of this comic several times. It's got like 25 volumes to go with. But yeah, everyone like lauds Robert Kirkman for his Walking Dead stuff, but his best stuff he's ever done is 100% Invincible. If anyone should read it, you should. It's an amazing comic.
I don't know if that's a hill to die on. That's more like a get wrecked, but you know, I'll stand on that hill with you.
Originally I was going to say that I don't think The Walking Dead is that good, but it started with, and then I went with Invincible.
So, okay, that we can actually talk about though. Yes. The Walking Dead, it started off wonderful, but then it turned into a redneck soap opera with zombies.
Yeah.
I totally agree. It got so boring for me. And I hate that because like I originally loved The Walking Dead. Like we would host parties at my old bar. We'd do showings of it and then like have drink specials and stuff. And it was super cool. Like everyone loved it. But it's one of these shows that like it should end. It just has no business still being on because the characters are all like they're redeemable now. I don't like anybody. I just don't like any of the characters.
Well, and the bigger problem is like they don't really go anywhere anymore. They don't really do like there was at one point it was like we're gonna go to DC and find a cure, and then like they just said, oh, that's not happening anymore, and they just kind of stayed put. And the end, like they just didn't go anywhere. Do it like I don't know what the end game is anymore, and that is boring to me because there's no now. It's just they're just fighting other humans. Like the zombies just seem like such a secondary, and it's called The Walking Dead.
Well, I think that's kind of the trap that you fall into though in a hopeless situation. Like when you write shows like that or movies like that, really any story where like there is not going to be a good end, like you are technically in like I guess like a weird like slice of life kind of thing to where there isn't like an all-consuming plot point to finish. So then you have to make a show about characters, and that's what The Walking Dead was. And it was a show just about characters trying to survive and figure out who they were in a new world. But then like now the characters are fucking insane, and everyone's been a good guy and a bad guy so many different times. I just don't care and I can't keep up. Yeah, and because there is no end game.
It's General Hospital. It's As the World Turns. It just happens to have guns and zombies in it.
To talk about who's watching the show, my mom is a middle-aged housewife who loves The Walking Dead, so obviously it is a redneck soap opera, because why else would she be watching that? Also, I stopped watching after Glenn died. I knew it was coming. It was in the comics. I was like, well, maybe they've changed things from the comic. Maybe they're not going to kill one of my favorite characters. This is like fucking Norman Reedus' character, Daryl. He wasn't even fucking in the comics. But, I was like, they added him.
I
kill him, and then they killed Glenn anyway. And then I also hate the show for making me hate Jeffrey Dean Morgan because I was a huge Supernatural fan.
I'm still a fan.
He was so good as Negan. I will have to say he was so good as Negan. And after he killed my main character, my favorite main character at the time, I'm like, no.
Let's see. Yeah. I stopped watching when Carl died. Spoiler alert if anyone's...
Yeah, I stopped watching before that, but I figured.
Yeah, no, after that, because...
But also, fuck Carl. What do you mean? He did nothing. He did nothing good in that whole series and show. Like, he was a literal, like, a deus machina for trouble. Well, it was like, oh, this episode's boring. Carl falls in a well.
Well, he actually turned into a badass near the end. But basically, after Carl died, I just like the only cool person left was the king.
Oh yeah, that guy.
He was dope. He's dope. I love that guy. He's cool. But I couldn't. There's no reason really to watch because like all the original cast is pretty much almost all dead as far as I know.
It's just Daryl and the older lady, right?
Well, I don't.
Okay. Did Michonne? Where'd Michonne go?
No,
she dead?
I think Michonne's still around, but she's not original cast either. She came in season 3. Rick, I think it's just Rick and Carol who's left.
Rick isn't around anymore.
Rick's not around anymore either.
Oh shit!
That was like a huge thing. Was Rick was written off finally, but like, but they're also kind of like hinting that he's
coming back for a movie
or something.
He's coming back for a movie.
That's what it is. Yeah.
I mean, did he die or did he just like?
He just walk about or something. I don't know.
Yeah, there was like drama about it because they kind of leave it like unfinished. He just kind of like leaves the show in a very like sort of mysterious way.
Well, I mean, he's been there for.
He was the show. Like he was the Walking Dead.
Well, he
just went insane like 4 times a season.
The thing is, it wouldn't be weird for him to walk off either. Like that actor, I can't. Something
and Andrew Lincoln.
Yeah, Andrew Lincoln. Yeah,
he's been there for fucking ever. Like he's been doing that for just.
He did it for like 11 seasons or some shit.
Yeah, and also he's British as fuck. I don't know if you guys know that or not. He's British.
Yeah,
like he's got.
He was in that Christmas movie, wasn't he? He was in that. Oh dang it! Fuck! It's that like Christmas movie with all the British
Love
people.
Actually.
That one, yes.
Yeah, he holds up a sign. Yeah, he's definitely one of the sign holder people, right?
What? Really?
Highest point.
He was an
Yeah.
extra.
No, that's Hugh Grant. No, that's not Hugh
No,
Grant.
so
There's
he
like
was
6 of
was
those
trying
movies.
to was it Keira Knightley? He was trying to get Keira Knightley to get away from her husband.
I
He was
think
just like her
so.
best friend, and he was like trying to like get her to date him and like cheat on her husband.
I mean, my girl's seen that about 11 billion times. I've seen it maybe twice. I don't know.
But yeah, that's my hill. It's just that Walking Dead has gotten so boring to me, and I don't care. And it makes me so happy that they're doing his best work that is going to come out, because The Walking Dead has lost me so bad.
Well, as long as you know the Midwest continues to watch it, they'll still keep cranking out the seasons.
Fucking Grey's Anatomy is still on TV,
dude. Like we're
It'll
going
keep
through
coming.
it. Right? We're actually on season 3 of Grey's Anatomy, like season 1 of Supernatural. We're just
Dude, my mom started watching Supernatural, and she's past where I stopped. And she's like, I'm like watching it, and she's like, my mom became one of those Tumblr girls that like love Supernatural. She's not shipping the brothers together, thank God, because that'd be fucking weird.
Dude, there are some people, though.
I know.
Rule 34
Tumblr was a dark place.
I still have never done Supernatural. And it's the One Piece problem for me. There's too much of it.
The second episode of the first season, man, that one was actually fucking scary. I don't get scared.
Was that the one with the glitchy ghost?
That was the one. Oh shit! I think so. I've only been scared by like the Women in White episode, I think.
Yeah, I think that was like the first episode.
The Wendigo episode. That one was fucking creepy too.
I haven't gotten there yet.
Scary motherfuckers.
Anyway,
speaking of the supernatural horrors, y'all should watch Hellstrom as well. Hellstrom was way cooler than I thought it'd be. It's the new Marvel show on Hulu.
I know
it's not Marvel-y at all. It's very much so like a supernatural horror.
I don't mean to cut this off, but if we don't end this episode, this is going to keep going on and on and on and on and on. It's okay. No, it's great.
I'm full of
we have a build up because we haven't shot in a while. I understand. Zach,
I've been waiting for you all.
That's our show. Zach, where can we find you?
Not many places. I'm on Instagram at ZKLAPP1, ZClap1. And then I will be releasing some content soon online. I have a Star Wars episode of a short series I used to work on with Sam, actually. I got an episode of that's about to drop that I didn't know was done.
It's done? Like it's done?
Two of the episodes I directed are
okay.
We had streamlined the process a little bit more. I don't know if that first episode is ever going to see the light of day.
I don't know.
But also, and that'll be called Star Wars Bounty Hunters.
Season Deliver,
yeah. My brain. Season Deliver. And then also I'll be releasing Becoming Famous, which is a comedy about LA, hopefully by spring. That's me.
Where can we find you?
Me? So you can find me on Twitch TV, Shani Bees. That's SHANIBEZ. I have all of my socials, other ones on there. I stream Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I do just chatting, and then I am actually just super hard into the Dead by Daylight thing right now. So I like playing spoopy games.
Spooky's House of Jump Scares.
Yeah, spoopy with the jump scares. I cuss way too much on there, so be prepared.
Gotcha. Let's see. You can find me doing my best Jeff Goldblum impression at SlammySammyLock on the Instagrams. You can find me at SlammySammyLock on the Twitter. You can find me on TikTok at SammyLock, where I do funny things only sometimes. You can find me at Steam Buddy Productions, where I do comedy stuff on YouTube. And, of course, you can find Chuckle Sluts anywhere on the internet. All you have to do is look us up on the Googs. You'll find us on the first page. Can't miss us. Thank you for watching episode 8. It's been a blast, and we're going to continue making this better just for you guys, because without you guys, this isn't worth doing.
That's right.
Love your faces, and we will see you next week.
Be safe.
Next week.